you let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back. Does anybody else want to stay? Let's ride!
Right. It's Monday. It's Monday. Monday the 13th, 2026. And it was a jam-packed weekend. A lot of good things going on. I hope that it was good in your life. You know, first, before I go anywhere, I have a super chat here. I have a super chat here that was sent to me by Shirley Eckert. It came in the mail to the P.O. box, and it read like a super chat. It had a $20 bill in there, and it said, "Frank, this is from late June, but it got here about a week and a half ago, and I forgot to talk about it on air. Frank, your commentary on J.D. Vance's great appearance on The View was very good, but saying that Sonny Hostin should STFU was absolutely priceless. Thank you. Most sincerely, Shirley Eckert." I thought it was hilarious and awesome and very nice and kind of Shirley, and generous too, that she would send essentially a super chat to comment on something very specific in the show, knowing that it would get to me at least a week and a half later. But you know, it's valid, it counts. So I had to put that on the thing there. And I'm so happy that you guys are here with us on this Monday. Tomorrow begins, at least in my neck of the woods, another pretty heavy-duty, soupy, hot, sweaty heat streak, heat wave. I think we're going to triple digits for a couple days in a row. And I don't know. I mean, listen, I got to soak it up, because in a couple of months, you could say, oh man, it's never going to be warm again. And then in weeks like this, you say, man, it's never going to get cold again. And it's going to be so bitter. It's so bitter and so scorching one way or another. That's what happens. And so I try not to be too gloomy about it, because it's fun. I got to get out there, though. Maybe I'll put the sprinklers on. Me and Aurora can go run through the sprinkler. Anyway, welcome to the show. And on Sunday afternoon, I popped in on you guys. I did doing something that I should do more often, no doubt about it, because not only is it just good to get out there if you have a few minutes when something is breaking and you want to, call home all the extended family out there to the front porch and talk a little bit. It also is a good way of saying, hey, listen, you know what? Come to the show the next night that we're on tonight, and call in. The lines are open. I had a good time reading through all the chats yesterday as I went live to just ask the question, what the hell happened to Lindsey Graham? And it could just be as easy as his aorta ripped open. It could just be that easy of an explanation, that he had hardened arteries, he wasn't the most healthy guy out there, and that his aorta popped open. And shortly after he spoke with President Trump, shortly after he got off a plane from his latest mission trip to the Ukraine, he is dead, which is really surreal. You complain about a person for so long, and you take the wins with the losses, far more losses than wins. There is nothing to be said, really. I'm not a grave dancer. Never have been. Especially when it comes to things like politics, even though someone like Lindsey Graham or John McCain or Mitch McConnell are responsible for countless deaths because of their brand of politics. And he has not been a no vote on anything that resembles military intervention around the world since he got in there. I think he voted in 2002. That might have been the first vote for war, 2002, Iraq. And it's been just nonstop since then, voting against any kind of troop drawdowns and anything like that. So I'm not a grave dancer, but I'm not going to make up things that he was just so awesome. There's people out there saying, you know what, he really lived a modest life. There's a lot of people out there enriching themselves, and they've got tens of millions of dollars in the bank after a few years in office. Meanwhile, he's been in for a couple of decades, and he's only worth like $1.5 million. He lives in a modest home in South Carolina. I'm like, so you're telling me he did it for love of the game? He did it for love of the game, and I should salute him? I mean, so we don't have to go making up things to celebrate. We also don't have to do any grave dancing. But again, that's just the way I approach it. Anywho, I'm opening it up for all types of theories and whatever you guys think about the whole thing. What's coming next? Which we already know what's coming next. I'll put that out in a second. Here's some of the comments from you guys, just straight from the top comments in last yesterday afternoon stream. CIA admitted the heart attack gun. The heart attack gun does exist. I don't know, says Sally. Yes. I mean, that's a 1975 admission. It had already been in, but the question is why? Why would you snuff out Lindsey Graham with the heart attack gun? Why would you do that? Thank goodness that Lindsey was double vaxxed and double boosted. It could have ended badly. Let me see here. Dre Beard says, my guess would be that cocaine-induced heart attack after a private meeting with Zelensky. Cocaine is a young man's game. That's what it is? I don't know. They ain't telling us that shit, that's for sure. Let me see here. A lot of people, it's hard for some people to hold back their joy. But then again, what does the joy really lead us to? Here is, let me put the screen up. I still have some stuff up here from over the weekend. Here we go. Lindsey Graham's final days focused on Ukraine. This is from Newsmax. Now, outside of that, we have we have a breakdown throughout the hour that I think that he was found. There's some kind of a wellness check that was called in for him. Now, President Trump, we listened to this on Sunday afternoon as I was sitting on the patio. I was just playing audio for you guys through the stream. He went on Meet the Press and said that the last time he spoke with Lindsey Graham was around 7:30, around in the 7 o'clock hour. And that was shortly after he got off a plane. So he said he had a right to be wiped out, or a right to feel tired, but otherwise in good spirits, and was looking forward to finding a way to pass the Save America Act. And then we get this radio traffic from response to Senator Graham's home. Emergency radio traffic indicates the Senator Graham suffered chest pains before going into cardiac arrest Saturday night. Efforts to revive the South Carolina lawmaker were not successful. Graham died 2 days after his 71st birthday. This is the second time within a month a D.C. fire and EMS department was dispatched to Capitol Hill, home of a Republican U.S. senator, reported to be in cardiac arrest. The first was Senator Mitch McConnell, who he and his wife, Elaine Chao, that's her name, Chao, they put out a proof of life post that you usually see on a place like Reddit, okay? Like when I think back in the day when you got onto a place, either when you were allowed into certain types of communities on Reddit or somewhere else, you would have to post like a picture that proved that you are you, like it's a date, you're holding it up and all that other stuff. I don't know. And it was like that. He's holding a newspaper. People are trying to analyze the newspaper to see what's going on in there. But the radio traffic from openmegahertz.com indicates that the 911 call last night was a woman in Baltimore. The crew from Engine 7 arrived and could not get anyone to answer the door. They apparently forced entry into the home. The radio traffic gives the impression that Senator Graham may not have immediately been in cardiac arrest when they arrived, but there is no confirmation of that information. Here's the unofficial timeline for the call. It really starts at 8:27 p.m. And then it ends at 9:13 p.m. when Battalion Chief 2 told the dispatcher to attach him to the run with engine 7. This is not routine. This is not routine on most cardiac arrest calls, and it's likely an indication of who the patient was. So the fact that President Trump he said he was alerted around 1 a.m. that he was dead. Could have been a little bit earlier. Who knows? But that's that. Then we brought up this other weird thing. And I wanted to know how much of this is actually just, I don't know, just general operational order here. What goes on with the FBI when it comes to a member of the Senate, the House. FBI Director Kash Patel on the passing of Lindsey Graham. He said this. He said, "Our prayers are with the family, loved ones, colleagues, and all those who knew him during a devastating time. The FBI is assisting local authorities and has made every necessary resource available." So that is what I looked into a little bit over here. I wanted to see if it was, if this is normal. What I came up with from foxcarolina.com is that hold on, wait, no, that was before. That was the cause of death. I'm still on cause of death page because they said brief and sudden illness, which, ladies and gentlemen, a heart attack is not a brief and sudden illness. It's an acute episode for something that is usually chronic. Now, obviously, you can be scared. Somebody could jump out of a closet and scare you half to death. Who the hell? Perhaps, I don't know. But that's, people are waiting for a little bit more clarity on this, even though the calls for clarity is going to be completely overwhelmed by his replacement, which we'll talk about in a second, and then everything that's going to happen for the rest of the year. I mean, by the midterms, forget about it. This prompted questions from rawstory.com. The FBI is assisting local authorities and has made very necessary resources available. We wanted to know how normal this was because obviously there's a lot of conspiracy speculation. So let's see here. From foxcarolina.com, FBI and federal sources quickly clarified to outlets like Fox News, FBI agents are helping Metropolitan Police Department officers with the normal process at the senator's house. MPD is the lead agency. No indication of foul play at this point. Toxicology, autopsy details are pending, but align with natural causes. And I guess because it's just high profile, there is going to be some assistance there. Now, this is a couple of, what is this? About a couple hours ago, nearly 20 federal agents from various agencies, including the FBI, have been spotted at Lindsey Graham's home in D.C. today, per NBC. Agents are there out of an abundance of caution, and there is no new evidence that that has arisen since his death on Saturday to indicate foul play. So people are just keeping an eye on this to see what's being said, what's being blah, 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 and all that other stuff. President Trump this morning at around 11 a.m. Eastern time said this to a large gasp of oof. I recommended to Governor Henry McMaster, Lindsey Graham's wonderful sister, Darlene, to serve as interim senator from the great state of South Carolina. This would be a fabulous tribute to Lindsey, who loved her dearly. Listen, Mr. President, I don't give a fuck about a tribute. Send her some flowers. Maybe work to erect a small bronze statue in the state of South Carolina. I don't know what the hell. Maybe a park, a bird feeder. You can dedicate a bird feeder to him or something. I'm sure somebody's going to dedicate a park to him out there in Ukraine. But we're going to give away a Senate seat as a tribute to someone, to a sister. Come on now. Come on now. We were talking about this last night. Yesterday afternoon, we were talking about that. We're saying, because one guy leaves, Mitch McConnell on the way out, John McCain has been out. I mean, it's not really even so much about them. While they're around, they have immense power in being able to dedicate and direct resources to one place or another, because they represent the mainstream culture of a political organization like the GOP in particular this time, and has been integral in actually making sure that places like Arizona or South Carolina have minimal representation by people who are not going to toe the line and carry water for what is otherwise normal business. That's just the way it is. Yeah, again, referencing yesterday's afternoon pop-in stream, we were talking about how John McCain is really he and his camp and everybody that worked around that kind of McCain brand of republicanism out there in Arizona. They worked harder to destroy Ron Paul Republican types than they did Democrats. Republicans have far more in common with Democrats than they do Ron Paul, originalist, Jeffersonian, American types. So to say Lindsey Graham leaves, what's the probability we're going to get a Patrick Henry, which South Carolina certainly has the constituency to be able to put somebody that good into office. Kentucky certainly has the constituency, the population and the majorities to put incredible people representing their state in the Senate and elsewhere. But what do you get? You get Mitch McConnell, you get Lindsey Graham, and now his sister, out of tribute to Lindsey. Can somebody pay tribute to us? Can we just get a little bit of tribute paid to the American people who are just busting their asses? Busting their asses. Jeez Louise. So just throwing that out there. You can call in with whatever the hell you'd like on that. Darlene Graham Nardone. Lindsey Graham's sister appointed to serve out his Senate term. Lindsey took care of his little sister and years long departed. It's my honor to ask his little sister, Darlene Graham, to finish his work for him now. McMaster, Governor McMaster said at an emotional news conference to announce his appointment for a vacant seat left by Graham's death. Well, maybe she shocks us all. Maybe she's a regular Andrew Johnson. Maybe she shocks us all. I'd like to be shocked from now until January. I also like to see who's going to be running for his seat, because his term was over around this time. But other than that, there's other things to take a look at before we start really opening this one up. I have other things to ask you guys, including ladies. Ladies, can you tell me something? This has been getting around on Instagram and a couple other places, and there's so little context of what the hell it means. And everybody who posts this shit, it's like its own kind of vague post where they get very vague about something. This one's a little bit less vague. They just come out and ask the question. This girl on Instagram says, while she stirs pasta, she says, why did millions of women have a missed period or double periods in the month of June? It's a strange question for me to pose, because I don't necessarily want you to feel compelled to call in and say, well, about my period, let me just tell you what happened with me. But at the same time, there's tons of people in these comments going, OMG, I'm so happy I'm not alone. So something's crazy. What's happening? Why is it happening all over the world? And I don't know. I have no clue. I asked just out of morbid curiosity. I dropped the link to this into Grok, and I just asked the question, is there something going on with everybody's periods? In June? What happened in June? Is it like a moon thing? Is it summer? What I don't. Does this always happen? I've never seen a post like this before. So, ladies, if anybody, I won't say your name. You don't have to announce your name. You can make up a name. Say hi. I have some inside information.
I have some inside information. My period has been horrid,
or non-existent. Call in. You can do that. I'm also going to open up the inside information line again tonight. It's just a regular line. Because the call waiting issue on my Google Voice hotline number, that's still a problem for me. And if I get a lot of people calling in at once, it's going to be just a ringtone of a mess. So the inside information line is going to be open as well. So keep the period thing in mind, please. But this is interesting. This is from CNBC. Trump to claim, this is on Thursday night. Apparently, Donald Trump, our president, is going to be addressing the nation. And it just might be serious enough for the media to be pre-dismissing it. I mean, they would do that for anything, but especially since it's supposedly going to be about election interference in 2020, having to do specifically with Georgia, where I know the FBI has been busy out there. Not only has the FBI been busy out there, but the FBI plants have been busy doing their own. I saw a couple of days ago, there was a couple, an FBI couple. I don't know if they were a married couple dating or just, banging. There was a couple of people from the FBI who left and said, no, we don't want to be a part of this. We feel like this is just inappropriate probe. Fuck you and your inappropriate. Oh, good. Announce it on the way out. You investigate them too. Anyway, this is what we're getting from CNBC, MS Now. Trump to claim. Just notice all the language, because this could be an interesting development on Thursday night. Trump to claim declassified intel reveals 2020 election interference. President Donald Trump plans to claim, he plans to make a claim in speech Thursday that newly declassified intelligence reports reveal a foreign nation's plans to interfere in the 2020 presidential election. CIA Director John Ratcliffe, Acting Director of National Intelligence Bill Pulte, FBI Director Kash Patel, and Homeland Security Secretary Markwayne Mullin will join Trump. Earlier, he said the speech will be at 9 p.m. Eastern time. Just wanted to make sure that, quite frankly, was not interrupted. And that's what we're going to be getting. Trump earlier on Monday afternoon announced on Truth Social he'll be making a speech to the nation on Thursday evening at 9 p.m. Trump, and here's your disclaimer. Trump lost. Just in case you forgot, readers at home, Trump lost the 2020 race to President Joe Biden, but falsely claimed his defeat was due to widespread voter fraud. He continues to frequently claim that race and others were rigged. No credible evidence has been presented. Didn't he win most of the cases that were actually allowed by merits? It's all thrown out with no merit and all that stuff. It was mostly just like a blah, 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 plugging your ears kind of a thing. I mean, what are you going to do? The real question is, what's the end around all of the watchers? Who will watch the watchers? How do we get rid of the prison guards and the warden? That's what we got to do. To our prison, not the other prisons who need to be filled. There's plenty of people in this country that need to be in prisons and insane asylums. But I'm talking about our prison. Our prison is one where our labor is stolen, the fruits of our labor is stolen, and our peace of mind is stolen. Every time we turn on the news or we click onto a ridiculously written article like this and we have our intelligence insulted, and knowing that there are legions of people, demonic people out there that exist to do nothing else but just lie to our faces. And if it ever gets serious enough for them where one of their lies is being brought before a judge somewhere, then of course, who's the judge and who's the jury and where's the trial being held? And that is when the clash of civilizations go on and on again. That's another place where you see the clash of civilization going on. It's crazy. So Thursday night, I hope, I'm always hoping for the hellstorm. I'm always hoping for hellfire and people to be like, oh no, running around and screaming. What are we going to do now? They're coming for us. Oh, that'd be wonderful. Be wonderful. Absolutely sensational. It really would be. So And then the real question is, what do you do after that? What's the next steps? Because there's got to be public rollout and declassification. That's what's happening now. Perhaps a congressional response. And then you have DOJ and FBI follow-up after that if there's something that's put forward. I don't know if there's any grand jury stuff that's being done, state-level actions. There's going to be counter actions. The real question is, will anything be able to be wrapped up and actually brought across the finish line in the time that Donald Trump is done with his presidency? Or is this something that is going to require 2028 being in hand for someone he approves of, or someone who is elected? There's going to be there's so, oh man, we're in for it. We're always going to be in for it. That's just it. So as far as news from the weekend, there's that. There is plenty back and forth going on with the Charlie Kirk situation, which we can talk a little bit about tonight, but we can talk a lot more about that tomorrow. I think my cousin Sherry is going to stop by. I think that Jay Gulanello might even stop by because he's heading off up into New England for most of the week. So I said, yo, you'd stop by the studio on your way up to Massachusetts. Hang out with me and Sherry, and we can get the latest. Sherry's probably taking notes with Candace Owens right now, who probably has 15 million people watching her stream. And we can talk about the creepypasta character that is the transvestite boyfriend of Tyler Robinson, who showed up in boy form. And it was so fucking creepy. So strange, man. These faces. I'm telling you, they were developed on some of those creepypasta forums. I believe it 100%. See the forums that came up with Slender Man and shit like that, and Momo. There's so many ways that you can be digesting this trial or this pre-trial. So many ways you can be digesting the information coming out of it, and watching the way that people digest it is just, it's something else. It's a blood sport out there, and there's so many extremes. But all that and more in just a little bit. No shortage of alternative theories. Nothing like that. I'm going to open this one up. That's what I'm going to do. We got the Mitch McConnell proof of life, 914-200-0269. If you haven't seen me in a while, if you were hanging out with me yesterday, now I want you to get out of the comments and onto the show. That's exactly what this all means. And that's what this all needs. Let's make this a historic night of call-ins. That's what we got. And now, as far as the inside information goes, call and say, Frank, I have some inside information. I'm not going to say anybody's area code tonight. I'll just say, caller, you're on the air. I hope I can remember that. Caller, you're on the air. You can say, Frank, I have some inside information. Now, what I mean by inside information, and I hope some of you guys do it, seriously, call in. If you're calling in with inside info, this is stuff that you know. This is stuff that you know. No headlines that you read somewhere, no blog posts that you read no rumor mill anything, no Q drops, no cliff high comments, nothing like that. If you're going to LARP, which is totally fine, then really sell it. And we will decide whether or not you're bullshitting us after the fact. Okay? So if you're calling in, call in with information that you know. This is yours. Hey, something I saw, a person I know. This is hot off the press. Nobody's talking about it. You give it to us. It's inside information, and I feel like it is appropriate. So 914-200-0269. And if I end up talking to myself, then I just get off a half hour early and I get ready for book club, which starts at 9:00. Because we're talking about Huckleberry Finn, and my oh my, the N-word is everywhere. That's all we're going to be talking about tonight on session 1 of the book club. So how many N-words did you guys count in the first 14 chapters of Huckleberry Finn? And I make do with what I've got. Okay? So we also have a chat room topic up, a poll that I put out there. Let me see here. When major news story breaks, what's your first instinct? What's your first instinct when a major news story breaks, ladies and gentlemen? Are you digging for more sources? Are you waiting 48 hours? Are you watching independent media? Or are you talking with friends? What are you doing? So far, we've got 28% split. 28% says I dig for more sources, and another 28 says I wait 48. Watching independent media is pulling away with 39%, and then talking with friends is 4%. A lot of the times, the things that we talk about is not made for childhood friends, unless, of course, they've been initiated in the same way we have. So there's that. And here's another one I got for you. Here is Senator Alyssa Slotkin. This is actually, she is straight up CIA. She's talking about the SAVE Act that Lindsey Graham was so excited about getting back to work and trying to get passed. Well, here she is, pretty much talking about her party's ability to win any significant race with this in place. For what, really? I don't know. There must be some reason.
The other thing that we blocked yesterday was the SAVE Act, right? Which was literally allow this administration to rig our democracy so that it would be hard for any Democrat in any state to win any election.
Why would that be? Up talk, bitch. Why would that be?
And disenfranchise all married women in the meantime, by the way.
Why would that be? Why would that be, actress? Why would that be? See, everybody in the audience, they're just like, yes, tell me I'll be oppressed. Like the threat, the vague threat of being oppressed, like gets them sexually excited. Because now they have something to do. They have something to do. I went into town the other day on Saturday. Aurora and I, we had a plan. She said, what are we going to do tomorrow morning? I said, well, here's what we have to do. We have some stuff we got to get done, but how about you and me go and work out? Let's get to the park. You run around, get some slides in. I'll, work out on the monkey bars and stuff like that, whatever. And then we're going to go get an acai bowl. How about we go get, she's been asking for that for like a week because it's been so hot. But, it's a bowl of berries. So unless you have it after a nice workout, it's kind of like you're just going and having a bowl of sugar. So I made sure I paired it with a nice workout. And we got in there. We got into, and she was so excited. As soon as we left the acai bowl place, I don't know, my eyes were just wandering all over the place. And I saw on this car a bumper sticker that was on the fender. And it said something like, vote as if your daughter's rights depend on it. And I laughed. Aurora's like, what's so funny, Daddy? So you wouldn't get it. You wouldn't get it. You wouldn't get it just yet, sweetie. Vote like your daughter's rights depend on it. Oh, man.
And just you have to show your birth certificate at the polls if you have a married name.
You have to show an ID, which is, you got to show an ID for a rated R movie. I don't understand. I don't understand the issue. So the real, we all know what the issue is. It doesn't care about married women from the suburbs. Also doesn't really care about black and brown people from inner cities or anything else like that. They've got IDs as well. And you can go out and get IDs, even non-driver IDs, and play in states like New York. I've gone through these price points so many times over the years. Non-driver IDs, you can get them that are valid for, I think, up to a decade. And it's $75 less, even less than that. If you're a senior citizen, if you're on Social Security, I think you can get them for free. So it's ridiculous. It's just about that whole one person, one vote thing. It's not really the case. If it's one person, one vote, they got a problem. They need a sizable margin of error in which they can get more votes versus the people who are actually voting. It's not really the case. Nobody's getting disenfranchised. It's actually too easy to vote. I would love to disenfranchise people. Just want to put that on the record. Okay, let's take a call. Caller, you're on the air. Who is this?
Hey, Frank, this is Truth Seeker Danny
Good to hear from you.
out in Missouri. Hey, man, it's one of the rare nights that I'm not working, so I decided that maybe I'd give you a call.
Well, it's great to see you in the chat room the other night. So what's on your mind?
Hey, Frank, I don't know what to believe anymore. Like with this whole world with AI and politicians dying and we don't see them for months and then all of a sudden they appear. I don't know what to believe anymore, Frank, and that's kind of where I'm at.
It's funny. It's funny because I've seen a lot of AI Mitch McConnell videos lately where he's essentially in his deathbed, then all of a sudden he's breakdancing. So there's a combination of two of the things that you already just said.
Yeah, I mean, like, remember what happened with Ginsburg?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Since then, man, I'm like, these people can get away with anything. They could tell us whatever they want, and we don't know what's what anymore. And it's kind of frustrating, you know?
Well, I understand your frustration. I think a lot of people feel the same way, but I'm glad you called in. Anything else you want to put out there?
No, that's it, Frank. I just wanted to say what's up, man, and we're here supporting you like always.
Well, I hope I can drive out past your way one day. I want to see the rest of the country real bad. I need a mobile rig. I need a mobile rig that I can take with me anywhere. That's the easy thing. I just got to raise some money for that. But other than that, I need a car that I can take on tour that I trust that I won't break down on Route 66 somewhere. But but either way, thank you for the call, and I hope to hear from you more often.
Yes, sir, Frank. You have a good night.
Take care. All right. Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hello.
Hello?
Yeah.
Do you have some inside information?
Just quite frankly.
It is. Yeah, am I on speakerphone? You got to take me off.
Speaker? Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
It'll just sound better.
Yeah, I'm a researcher. I've been studying who these people really are. I mean, I'm not sure if you know, but all of them have been around for a very long time, for hundreds, even thousands of years. And the proof is in the scars in their face. Like, they can cure everything from brain cancer, blindness, heart disease, all of it in your interior. But what they can't do very well at all is change the scars on the outside of your face. That I say face because you can see that readily. And so we're able to tell exactly who the people really are. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes. So you're saying the ones who are essentially living extended, almost immortal, in non-human lives are the ones who have some kind of facial disfigurement?
Well, no, they just have their scars and blemishes, birthmarks, moles, freckles, any kind of things anywhere on the outside of their body. And what they do is they drink blood. And basically what they really need to do is get a full baby blood transfusion. And that will actually reverse the aging process. And they can go back pretty far, at least teenage years, 18, 20 years old, easily. So when we're looking for them, we're actually looking for old people. But what we're seeing, if you look carefully, they're very young.
So when you want, as far as you're not saying anything that I think people in the audience haven't heard before. My question is, as far as where we are right now, and especially what is in the news cycle right now, is there anybody that you look at in public service and you say, dead ringer, that person has been alive for 500 years and they are just about due for a recharge?
Sure. Yeah, sure. Trump was General Patton. You'll see he looks exactly like him. His facial scars match up and align perfectly with Patton. And then Patton's iteration, he took the procedure, and then right out the gate, as a young man, he started off as Mick Jagger, and he was singing songs, and he's singing songs about himself. You know, he tells you what he did, you know, to the Tsar and the Tsar's men in Anastasia. And, you know, I drove in a tank. I held a general's rank. He's actually, they got to tell you, but they can't tell you like I can tell you that
Yeah.
there's scars on that. No, but there's literally thousands of them. I mean, everybody's doing this. The FBI, the CIA, the National Security Agency, our military, virtually everybody in Hollywood, many of the sports players, especially, you know, football players, you know, that how much Joe Namath looks like John Travolta. And he just, I think,
Yeah, but
he just took another iteration recently.
Now
Go
the,
ahead.
the clone, the celebrity clone thread, I love pulling on that thread. You know, a lot of the Hollywood starlets, how a lot of Hollywood starlets that are all working sometimes side by side with each other look like they could be first cousins, if not sisters. So I know I've seen that stuff. But what did you say about Mick Jagger in particular again? Before I gotta take some more calls. What was it?
Yeah, that was Panton's, you know, last iteration, I should say, and then Elvis, he turned into Elvis. They got rid of him when he was young. They put another guy in there.
Wait. You're saying that they're all the same person? Patton is Mick Jagger, is Elvis, is Trump?
Yes. Yeah, you pretty much got it. You know, I mean, and they play roles. I mean, you got to do what they say. You know, you got to sign your. So they're all actors, bro. Everybody's an actor. They're all acting. This is done all over the world, in every country on this planet. It's one big giant scam, and we're being scammed. You fell for it, dude. If you didn't know this, you fell for it.
Yep.
I have very good facial recognition. I can just tell when I look at people.
What about me?
Okay.
How long have I been alive? Tell me. Am I one of the authentic humans, or do you think I'm hiding something?
No, you're a regular person like me.
Oh, okay. Well,
we're just regular. Yeah, you're not one of them, bro.
I appreciate it. I mean, I have a couple of cherry moles. I have a couple of cherry moles on me, but it's nothing too egregious.
No, you don't. You're a sheep. I'm a sheep.
Okay.
Most of the people listen. Okay, they're the lions, bro. The Bible says the lion will lay with the lamb. That tells me that everybody listening to this will accept it. They'll accept that they're eating babies.
All right. Well, listen, you know what? We have to follow up on this again soon, especially since it seems like we're going to have a hell of a year. And I appreciate the call. Don't hold up anything. Anytime you have any new breaking stories on this, I want to hear from it. Okay.
You got it.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. All right, let's go. Another call. You're on the air.
Frank, what's up? It's Kid Hippie from SLC.
Oh, it's great to hear from you. How have you been?
Oh, swell dandy. How about yourself, good sir?
All right. How old are you? Are you a normal human, or do you have several lifespans attached to your resume already?
I feel like I've got several attached, but I'm only 33 in physical form.
Okay, fine. Sounds good. Go ahead. So what's on your mind?
I was just, I feel like I didn't hear any ladies calling, but it was the first time I heard about anybody else having weird periods in June.
So you've heard about this or no?
No, tonight was the first time I heard about it, but I definitely had a weird cycle, not to be too gruesome.
Hey, I offered it to anybody who's comfortable enough to call in and give me some insight on this, because it has been all over the place. It's being posted by women, and when I go into the comment sections, it's a whole. I mean, it's just sometimes thousands of comments of women who are feeling communal relief that everybody else had some kind of a weird June where they missed it altogether, or they had something that was doubly as gruesome. I don't know.
No, for me, I started and it went dry for a week, full week. I thought I don't know what I thought. I was working on a film set and I was talking to the set medic, who's a gal, and she said, well, you could just be stressed or you could be pregnant. And that didn't help my stress level at all. So.
Well, okay. Then, it's one thing to identify a pattern. It's another thing to identify a cause. And I don't know if it's just If we just call it, it's summertime, and I would know about that being a little bit more of a regular seasonal occurrence. So I don't know. I figured I throw it out there for anybody comfortable enough to throw in some thoughts. So
Yeah, well, my thought is that was a first for me. Usually I'm a pretty regular cycler, but was not in June.
well, now that I piqued your interest and you might have something else to research, if you find anything notable, get in touch with me. Even if you just email me and I'll throw it into a follow-up.
Absolutely, will do, Frank. Good to talk to you.
Thank you. Have a good one. All right, let's take another call. Caller, you're on the air.
Well, hi, Frank.
Who's this?
I go by Owl Eyes.
Okay, good. Is this inside information or just something else?
This is just going to be some random bullshit.
Okay, give me some random bullshit.
Okay, so here's some thoughts. So, Lindsey Graham just died. And there's, and plus McConnell, of course, is still supposed to be alive. But let's just flip this. What if McConnell was dead and Lindsey Graham was still alive?
Are you saying that could be the case?
Well, here's my thoughts as far as pattern recognition, right? So Lindsey was 71. Flip around 71 and make 17. He died on 7/11. Flip that around, that makes 17. He was supposedly 71 hours from the time he left Ukraine until he died. 71 hours, which is where they'd even put that type of information out there. So 71, flip around, makes 17. I don't know. We're getting ready to get into the nitty gritty of a lot of stuff right now. And he was a JAG officer, and we're getting ready to be taking people down. This is just me thinking, okay? This is just me, okay? He was a JAG officer. We're getting ready, be doing these military tribunals down in Gitmo. And if you've seen him when he did the thingy with that one guy that was going to be a Supreme Court justice, I can't remember his name right now. He was asking him about the different types of laws, including, military law. And then it's just weird that the recommendation was for his sister to take his spot. And so you figure he's on a lot of important committees too. And I don't know what kind of, background his sister has. But if you sort of think about it, who would be the best person to probably continue with Lindsey's agenda and keep the home fires burning for a while he's possibly down in Gitmo doing military tribunals? And I know this sounds all crazy.
Well, where does Mitch McConnell come into the theory? You said that it was you started bringing up 7/11s and 17s and then you stopped mentioning Mitch McConnell. So what's the he doesn't have anything? Okay, so you think I just don't think Mitch McConnell was alive. Okay, well, I mean, a lot of people don't think that right now, and even if he is, I can't imagine he's very fun. That announcement that they made was that he's not going to be ready for some time to return to the Senate for a vote. So what does that mean? Is he going to be able to vote? With not being present, he can send somebody to vote by proxy or something like that. Is he still? I don't know what the hell this is really going to. What's going to go on with that? But what I guess the crux of what you're saying is that is it possible that Lindsey Graham is not dead, but his death has been faked so he can go and he can preside over military tribunals in Guantanamo Bay while his sister finishes up his congressional term?
Well, she could be keeping the home fires burning, until we get through all this. I mean, who knows if. Okay, so we're the Save America Act or whatever most likely will not get passed, and if it doesn't get passed, then we're going to have to do the executive order or whatever, right? And so I'm hearing different things about the executive order. So if Trump was to declare executive order, he's only got so much time to do it. And so by holding up this vote with Mitch McConnell, I think it's after August 2nd or something, then something about after August 2nd, I don't know, you can't do something or something. I don't remember everything. But the bottom line is it doesn't matter if the Save American Act was to get passed or whatever, the Democrats, the demon rats are going to bring in their judges and they're going to do everything to fight it so that we're not going to get this anyways until it's just not going to pass. So the only way really to get past all this is probably just not to pass it and do the executive order.
Well, if that is the case, and thank you for the call, it's great to hear from you. That's the case. I don't see why you have to have your friend Lindsey Graham fake kill himself. I just can't. I don't know. I know that to get things done these days, it gets a little testy, and you have to get a little creative because there is no more legislative process anymore because there's no consensus even within one party or the other because everybody's at war with each other. But, faked death theories, they usually don't work out. There's not one person who has died or has been removed from the chessboard, whether it's Jeffrey Epstein, John McAfee, whoever. There's not one person who has been disappeared. Everybody is like, oh, I'll tell you what's going to happen. And they just don't ever come back. Now, either they have all the self-control in the world and they can just live quietly with a full-grown beard on a desert island somewhere, playing PlayStation. I don't know. Until we start seeing people come back, John F. Kennedy Jr., who was supposed to walk out on top of Mount Rushmore back in 2019 and make his grand return, until somebody comes back and says, "Here I am, and I've got the goods," with a briefcase full of receipts, then I'm just not there. I'm going to have to see somebody come back. I have to see one person come back from the dead. One! I'm not a normie. I'm far from a normie. I'm a very strange bird. Okay? But I don't know, man. Just give me a little something here. Okay, let's see here. John McAfee was the one I wanted it to be true, says Northwind over on X. I'm with you. John McAfee was one person I wanted it to be true. If for no other reason than just to have John McAfee be alive again to do one more interview. His interviews were always very interesting. And I had him on the show twice. On the schedule twice. He had to cancel the first time, and I had to cancel the second time. I very rarely. It is such an extreme. I don't even remember what the hell it was. I don't even remember what the hell it was that I had to postpone the show and switch some things around. That would have been an interesting memory. Anyhow, all right. Okay, so listen. Hey, do me a favor. Like everything. Comment if you're watching this after the fact. Please subscribe. And subscribe and hit the notification bell, wherever the hell you are. If it's on Rumble, if it's on YouTube especially. I had a couple people get in touch with me yesterday after the fact. Yesterday. And they said, Frank, I haven't seen you in so long. I've been subscribed here. I haven't seen you since when John Ward returned and he was on the show and all that stuff, and no notifications ever. Like, yes, I know. Subscribing to somebody on the internet means jack shit. Jack shit. Whoever you enjoy seeing, make sure that you subscribe and you put the notifications on. Add them to a list. Put them on a reminder on your cell phone. Whatever the hell it is, you have to go that extra step. And once we start doing that, we're going to see a lot of our old friends come back. And from there, we're going to have a much more sizable base. We had enough people watching every night that we can make our own ripples and we can make our own momentum. and then things just changed, and we all just kind of got scattered into the wind. So I'm trying to reconvene the nightly the nightly congregation here. So make sure the notifications are on. All right, the lines are still open. Let me get to your super chats real quick. And remember, all the super chat now this is still the prizes from last week because we had a short week last week. I'm adding a third prize. So on Thursday night this week, we're going to, for the super chat raffle, we're going to give away to 3 winners. The first winner is going to get my last 1953, the first prize winner. So that means we'll go in third one. This will be the last prize. So the last of my 1953 red seal $2 bills. I've got a 250 year anniversary copper round. I have a small sleeve of these. We're going to be giving those out a lot. Copper round with 2 silver quarters, and of course, an old, it's not mint condition, Laurel and Hardy card game. Come on, don't you want to play a Laurel and Hardy card game from like 1960 something? So that's that. And then the second prize is going to be more copper, more silver, and the botanical chocolate from Yes Cacao. And the third prize I haven't announced yet. We're going to be adding on to all this stuff. So YouTube, Rumble, quite frankly, superchat.com, and of course, Pilled. We could use the support, and I like giving away all of the prizes. So here we go. Jay Britt says, hey, Stumble Boots over on YouTube just says, what's up? Road Trip says, Iran is 2 weeks away from a heart attack gun. We have to prevent them from getting the heart attack gun. We must. Road Trip also says, join the Quite Frankly Discord for breaking news. Yes. I mean, there's a lot of fun stuff that goes on in the Quite Frankly Discord, and it's nonstop. All right, let's take another call. Who's this?
Hello, Frank.
Hello?
Hey, can you hear me good?
Decently enough. Am I on speakerphone by any chance?
No, I got you on my earbuds.
Ah.
Hold on, I'm gonna walk away from the commotion. Can you hear me better now?
A little bit better. Okay, go ahead. Are you a home slice? You sound like you're from home.
This is Moses from Long Island.
Oh, it's Moses. There you go.
My man, how have you been?
I'm doing all right, man. It's great to hear from you again. I get a call from you maybe like once or twice a year, and it's always a very special occasion for me.
Absolutely. So, Frank, I'm just gonna get straight to it. I got the inside track on what's going on with the menstrual cycles.
Okay.
And what's going on is this is all just justification for girls crazier than they already are, right?
Okay.
Because they are losing the grip and the battle. And men are, I don't know if you've noticed it, but maybe it's just the people I'm around, but men are getting their balls back. And I think this is just a desperate action, you know, like a last-ditch effort to just act like the crazy you-know-whats that most of them are.
So you think
that's
that
coming from the father of 3 little girls?
Okay, so now you're breaking up a little bit, but I got most of that. So what I am piecing together here is that you think that the menstrual cycle kerfluffage that happened in June is because a lot of women are just freaking out. The men are seemingly getting their balls back, and now they had gotten drunk on the power of being mediocre men for so long, and now they don't want that that prestige to go away.
Yes, exactly. I don't know if anybody else has ever had a crazy girlfriend in the past, but the second that they think you're 1 foot out the door, the real crazy comes out, you know? And I think that's what's going on right now. I think they see what's going on. They feel the testosterone. They smell it in the air. And the fear is causing their menstrual cycle to go crazy. And this is just that like last ditch effort, break your window, and before men fully take over again.
Okay. So you see this happening in Long Island? Men are finding their balls, you say?
I do.
Okay.
And I don't know. Maybe it's just the men that I'm around. But I mean, come to think about it, I don't really hang out with too many females.
Well, you know what?
So
Listen,
might be a little bit messed up.
I don't know about the hormonal response from our female counterparts out here, but I will tell you one thing. It is necessary for survival of the West for men to start finding some sort of balls again. So I'm praying that your observation is a true one, my friend, and I hope that I hope you've been having a good one.
I appreciate you, Frank. God bless.
All right, take care. I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. There you go. Men are finding their balls. What's going to happen? All right, so you can call in with anything now. Obviously, there's what we had in the first part of the show. I have some. If you want to bring up the Charlie Kirk stuff, you can. I think that a lot more of that is going to come up tomorrow because I've just been building up notes and seeing more so how the factions are fighting with each other right now. It's crazy. It's really crazy. And I've got questions. I've got a lot of questions. And thankfully, if my cousin Sherry is here, I can pose it to her. And I know people at home are very up on all this stuff. So it'll be good to hear what you guys got to say. But we'll take some more on this in just a moment. Here, let's go over to the Rumble real quick. Katie Sky D says, "Hey, period's just fine over here, guys." So that's in Texas. At least one woman is having a normal period month. So that's good. That's good news over there because it's hot in Texas, and that's the one less thing to worry about. Grandma Grateful says, "Heidi ho, Frank and Franklies. It's good to have you out there, Grandma Grateful. Thank you." And over on Pilled, a bunch of people that are hanging out. Ginster, here's to being regular too, Frank. Oh, well, thank you. I've been regular. I've been regular this last month or so. So that's no surprises over here. Sean Joe, thank you. JR at the Lake, Sharon, and then Safety Net. Doodah Man, in it to win it. Yes, you got to be in it to win it. Okay, let's take a call. Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Oh, hi. My name is Susan, and I was wanting to comment on your comment that you said you wanted to disenfranchise more people.
Yes.
And I think you're right in a way. Again, my name is Susan Lehman. I actually wrote a book, and I wrote to your website about this. But the media tells us, Republicans are taking away people's right to vote. But what they're talking about is all actually conveniences. So, drop boxes are a convenience. Early voting is a convenience. Registration with a driver's license is a convenience. Mail-in ballots, if you aren't actually, disabled or overseas or something like that, is a convenience. You could take away every single one of those things. It would affect absolutely no person's right to vote. None whatsoever.
Yes. And let me, 100%. I mean, and the real question is, anything that is done for the sake of what a normal person would see as common sense and just having security in mind and trustworthy results in mind to the best that you can guarantee. They call it all disenfranchising. They say it's a new poll tax. They say it's all that other stuff. I say, well, okay, well then I'll give you. I will take the bait. And I will just say, yes, we need to find it. We need to find ways for people for it to be a little bit harder to vote, because at this point, as you said, we are one step away from voting from text message. And you know what?
Exactly.
Get the hell out of the house. Get out of the house. Present an ID. Show you are who you are. And listen, if we're going to have to, I don't see anybody losing the right to vote if they are an American citizen and they are over the age of 18. I don't see anybody losing the right. So let's just make sure that only that can happen. And obviously, for those of us with some sense, we know that people only advocate for all these conveniences, as you call them, because it creates a wonderful margin of error to play inside of to create results that you want.
Exactly. And even with the Save America Act, one of the best parts of that is cleaning up the voter rolls, because there's a woman named Catherine Engelbrecht, and she runs an organization called True the Vote. And she made, back a long time ago, she made the point that it isn't necessarily, it's not only actual illegal immigrants going to the polls and voting. It's having all those ineligible names on their voter rolls, and then people who organize illegal ballots go and capture those addresses. They send ballots out to them. Then they have the people in their organization collect them, and they fill them out illegally, sign them illegally. And that is a lot of what happened in 2020.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And then state by state, when we jump into, California, how they do it versus how, neighboring states around them do it, or even New York, we start seeing that state by state, state legislatures will create new cutouts for what is considered a deadline, when deadlines could be ignored, and what is a valid signature, and how much, so it's not even across the board. We're getting just rules that fly in the face of reason. Then state by state, you have to go to local efforts to even erode what I would say security even more. And that's where, when we had somebody like our friend Marley Hornick come on the show, she said New York State alone, and this is probably the case for many of the 50, is a national security risk, just from the standpoint of you can't really tell anybody that is the accurate end, no matter who is awarded the governor's mansion or whatever the hell else. You can't really be sure. Right.
Exactly. So we're all going to have to get some backbone and stop caring about, a lot of us don't care anyway, but stop caring about what people say or what names they call you, because you want to say, no, we're not going to do drop boxes. No, we're not going to do this. And learn about this so that we can explain it. And I actually think that we have kind of an opportunity right now, because the real extremism of the modern Democrat Party is kind of becoming more obvious. And so there are traditional Democrats that are like, whoa, what's going on? So I think that it would be good for us to lean into that, because they're kind of like open at this point to say, look, here's what's been happening, and lay it out for them.
I'm with you. I'm glad you called in. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Be well. All right. Let's just keep going a little bit. Now we're going to switch topics just to enhance this one. Caller, you're on the air.
Frank, this is Krask. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. It's great to have you on.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure I turn off the sound here. Say, I wanted to let you know that all of this with regard to the SAVE Act, the board is being set right now for Save America Act to be implemented via executive order, and that's all supported by the Insurrection Act that I expect may be forthcoming if you look at things coming down the road. This is all substantiated as a national security threat, and that way Congress and judges are not involved, as military tribunals may be taking care of business.
You know what? Listen, we've talked about this a lot in the past when it comes to the options for the executive to act and the optics for something to be done now, for something to be done through executive order versus the Congress jumping on something and doing it the old-fashioned way and having it stick and be able to survive past another administration that may come in and not be friendly to this one. And we often ask the question, well, listen, if we really do assess our situation politically, culturally, and bureaucratically as one of great existential, it's greatly existential in nature, where, we've got to destroy an enemy here. We've got to destroy an enemy of what we would say is the original state, but I don't know. I know you have to ask yourself questions along the way. What are you willing? What are you willing to do along the way to do that? And would you be able to take advantage of the time left on the board to clean things up, perhaps by some kind of a extra legislative measure, or not, and just be able to put up with the accusations of those saying, "Oh my gosh, this is a tyrannical takeover. A president is going wild and using executive authority to upend elections, which we know was upended a long time ago." And I don't know. It's the question is, how much are you willing to bear just to be able to do what needs to be done to truly face an existential crisis in the face? And I don't know. That's my question.
And this is this is what's coming at us. A self-disclosure, I expect, is coming. The media is trying to get out in front of it by saying
You're talking about Thursday night.
The 2020 election. Trump claims that it was phonied up. I expect that. This is a soft disclosure. As people come along, it makes it a little easier for the populace to understand what's happening.
And
do what you said: take the spears and arrows.
I think that what you're proposing right here and what you're kind of filling in for everybody is not very far off from what could be a possibility, at least. I mean, to go out there and to bring to have people around you, to have the director of national, to have the DNI there and the FBI there and the CIA there, and to show what the hell you've been digging up out there in Georgia, just to be able to get the subject broached. That's an interesting way of doing that end around. Where you go from there. It's an interesting thought. I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it. Of course, I'm not over here putting any bets on Kalshi. I'm just showing up, making sure we have something interesting to talk about. And if by some chance there is because I know that there's a lot of issues that we have optics and messaging wise that are going on in the country right now that has really split people up. The Charlie Kirk situation is only one major point of fracture, but Iran is another major point of fracture. The fact that Russia and Ukraine is still a thing, and there's a whole bunch of other things here too. And we've talked about Epstein until it's just ad nauseum. Talked about Israel ad nauseum, and a lot of it is messaging. You know who I actually might have coming on the show sometime soon? It's not going to be, I don't think it's going to be Susan Kokinda or Barbara Boyd from Promethean Action, but I think somebody from Promethean Action is going to come on to be able to answer some questions about what's coming up, what they see coming up, which of course is a very exciting change to the world from their perspective. And I would love to have a lot of you guys and gals anybody who has paid attention enough to Promethean Action and what they're saying, what door of opportunity is being opened up with the whole Iran thing. If you know what they're putting out there and you have any kind of a question, anything you want to hear answered, anything you want to push back on, I'd love to hear it, because I got my own stuff and it all has to do with optics and being able to keep your base intact. And the base is not intact. It's not. There's a lot of cracks in the foundation. And it's not people who are just like, bandwagoners or fair weather fans or anything like that. You guys heard it. The last thing that I had live premiere on this channel during the week last week was an interview that I did with Black Conservative Patriot. And BCP came on with me. We did a taping on Friday morning, put that out on Thursday morning, put it out Thursday night. And he still is true blue and hopes that it all works out and is a fan of Donald Trump. But there's a lot of things that are going wrong here. And if we're going on a mission to save the earth, and tell everybody that. Tell exactly what the mission is. I mean, why not tell us the intent if you're already dropping bombs? That's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Why not tell us the intent if you're already dropping bombs? And if the intent is something different than we got to save the girls of Iran, we got to save the gays of Iran, or Pete Hegseth saying that we're on a mission from God like he's a blues brother to go into Iran when nobody gives a shit about that stuff, then why wasn't the messaging different from the beginning? Why weren't we being told about 116 years of British control being broken out there? Same thing, and I think that he'd be, why do I bring that up? Because on Thursday night, when we start talking about election interference, that's something else that we all signed on and said, listen, hey, who knows how much we actually get? But I'm voting just for the hope of some kind of justice being done, especially when it comes to elections, because that's an issue that's going to far outlive and outsurvive Donald Trump's presidency. If something huge can be done with that, you're never going to be able to truly trust an election. It's all too big, especially if the role of the federal government is not in some way destroyed, downsized, brought back to its original intent. Then it's all going to be it's going to be tough. It really is. But there are things that can make it easier. They're really good. They're really good. Safeguards, anything like that. And that would be a lot more exciting right now if we weren't, if we didn't feel like we're holding the bag on a couple other things, including a new war. So I'm interested to see what we can talk about with the Promethean Action people. So if you got questions, get in touch with me. Anytime you've ever seen anything that they put out there, say, I like the vision. I hope it's true, but here's why I can't go all the way with it. Well, give me that. Give me that. Because I want to throw it their way. In breaking news, RFK Jr. urges Americans to grow lots of pubes to keep bugs from crawling into cockholes. So please, everybody, just please, just keep that in mind. We're trying to keep just something secure in this country. All right, we also had this. Take a look at this. This guy got thrown. Man, I'm thinking about RFK. He's trying like hell out there to get this country saner and in a better spot. And it's just, nobody's listening to him. He single-handedly got us through the whole hantavirus thing. Where's hantavirus today? Gone. Because of RFK. He got us through that single-handedly. Nobody's listening to him, I feel. There goes my Manscaped order, says Zemo in the chat room. Good. Wichita Buzz says RFK making 1970s Bush great again. He's trying. So a tourist was seriously injured after a bison tossed them about 8 feet into the air at Yellowstone Park on just over the weekend. Here it is. I have actually a whole news report over here from WGRZ TV. Take a listen to it.
Everyone's bison! Look out! A bison! Look out!
This was the terrifying scene at Yellowstone National Park. A bison charging toward a man and a young person. Moments before, the two taking photos from a distance as it lays down, when the animal gets up and bolts in their direction.
Oh, no.
They try to run and hide as the bison chases the man around a tree, shakes another one. And then the bison slams into that man with brutal force, throwing him feet into the air.
Jeez Louise.
It was like watching a bulldozer move out at 45 miles an hour.
Photographer Mike McLeod.
That was like me throwing Aurora into onto a bed. Like if I throw her onto me and Lauren's bed, or if we go to Maine and she wants to get thrown onto the mattress, I just throw her. This is me and Aurora as soon as we get into like a hotel room or something.
Him feet into the air.
It was like watching
But it's not funny. He's seriously injured.
A bulldozer move out at 45 miles an hour.
Photographer Mike McLeod recorded that video but stopped and ran to help.
And when you approach this man, how is he?
What the hell was with that P at the end of help? What the hell was that? Let me listen to this stupid. I want to listen to that. That pissed me off. Hold on.
And ran to help.
What the fuck was that? If I was the editor, I said, what's that P? Go back a little bit less pronounced. You're pissing me off. What do you mean? Help. And he ran to help. Help. Why did you pop the P? Why did you do that? You think it's going to advance you in your career? One more time.
Video, but stopped and ran to help.
You piece of shit.
And when you approach this man, how is he?
He was in a lot of pain. He was conscious, I think, the entire time.
The National Park Service confirming a 65-year-old man was injured by a bison and taken to the hospital. McLeod says he's in touch with the man's family.
It sounds like he has a broken leg in several places. The doctor said that he probably would recover, but it's going to be a long recovery.
The man's family telling it
he probably could recover, but he won't.
NBC News he underwent surgery and remains at the hospital. This incident, the second in just 2 months.
Damn, that sucks. Anyway, so my question to you is, have you ever had to get into a scuffle with an animal? Something that's like, let's say a wild animal. Did you ever get into a fight with a wild animal? Were you charged by a wild cat or a cow, a bull, something like that? Did you ever do one of those bull runs or something? There's a comment over here that asked Grok, hey Grok, in this situation, should we punch the bison in the nose to disable it? That was from Live Free Florida, asked that question. That's something that Matt would ask. I should ask Matt what he would do. You think Matt would pick up if I called him? He came by the house to fortify it from the mice yesterday. Let me see. I think I got him. Let me give him a call. Hold on. Let me see if he picks up.
Please leave your message.
Oh, that's not him. Give me a second. Let me see if he picks up for me. Might as well try, right, kids? See if we can call Uncle Matt. Duh, duh, duh. Duh, duh. Duh, duh. All right, here we go.
Hi, this is Matthew from Beast Pest and Wildlife Services. Sorry, I can't answer your call right now. Please leave your name, number, and a brief description of what your problem is, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you.
Hi, it's Gino. You are late for your ball waxing. I wanted to wax your balls and your taint for you, but you did not show up for your 6:25 appointment. I was waiting here for you. The wax was hot. Call me back. It's Gino. Thank you. Bye. Well, I mean, I thought he was going to pick up. Why the hell not? But I'll try again later on. Who the hell knows? I want to see how he would have handled. I want to see how he would have handled the bison. So give me a call, 914-200-0269. You can add this on to everything else. Give me a buzz. Have you tell me the time that you've had to fight an animal like this? Crazy. I saw this. Kitty Lynx paws. I seen a video of a guy cover up decades of culture and stickers just to give it a sloppy landlord special for the sake of fixing it. It will never function again. And I had to look closely into what this idiot, a 22-year-old, any pronouns, I like women, bullshit. So here's what they're talking about. Look at this. I guess it's in New York City. That's an old fireman's call box. And there are plenty of those around the city. They're vintage. Yeah, they don't work anymore. But they are pieces of history. They are actual pieces of history. They are part of a past culture, which of course has been graffitied over and a whole bunch of Temu stickers and bullshit. And it just goes to show what so many people right now, young fucks, look at and think is culture when it's really the evidence of cultural decline. He went and he cleaned the whole thing up. He restored it to its original red and gold, which would be the colors of the fire department. And it looks beautiful. It's so beautiful that it's out of place from the dumpiness around it. And the fact that some people would look at that and say, huh, covered up decades of culture just to give it a sloppy landlord special. What the hell does that mean? What is a landlord special? A landlord special is a slang for a lazy, cheap, or cosmetic repair made to a rental property. That does not look lazy or cheap at all. God, people suck. People just have no fucking class. No fucking boiled hot dog culture. That's where we are right now. Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Frank, it's Pete up in Canada.
Pete, how are you?
Not too bad. So this one time, this is like maybe 12 years ago, I was on air. I was doing an all request show, and at home, what had happened was there was this farmer who had just gone to the auction and bought a bunch of cows. And he, just to keep things polite, he was a foreigner, and he, I guess, got in some sort of commotion on the road, and the cows got out. And I had gotten a call while on air saying that there was cows in my backyard. And I'm taking requests, and I'm in the mode where I'm just like, I'm saying whatever's coming in. So I'm like, so I mentioned it on air, and then anyways, I had to boot home and help people get cows out of my backyard. And it was crazy because basically it's a subdivision, and we had to get like a bunch of skids, and a bunch of dudes had to line up and form like a fence, because the cow won't go through like a wall, what it perceives as a wall. So we had to like get a fence, and then one guy had to run in with a pan and like knock it in the right direction. Anyways, that was my encounter with an animal.
Well, it didn't get violent though. It was just surreal.
Oh no, it came at us. Yeah, it came at us. We had to stand there, you know. You had to stand there with the skid, right? Or it would like, yeah, it came at you.
That's
you know, they're little cows.
Oh yeah, well they're just a little rambunctious. They're in a new place. They're so excited. They're so excited at that point. You know.
And also moose, man. We run into moose up here like it's no big deal. My first day on air in Sudbury, Ontario, I had to do a moose on the loose call, and the stupid kids that were filming this moose run around the subdivision. They were basically chasing it in their Honda Civic, and they ended up getting charged for it. Yeah.
Every time we go up into New England, especially when we cross into Maine, you start seeing, you know, signs on the highway, watch out, moose crossing and all that stuff. And we in all the years that we've gone up there now, I haven't seen one, but I would love to spot one day. I know that for some of you.
Stay away.
I know.
Stay away. You have to stay away. The first time I ever saw a moose, it was off in the distance on the side of the road. We slowed down. We were in my buddy's first car. It was a 96 Pontiac Bonneville with the sunroof, we used to do funnels out the sunroof. Long story. Anyways, this moose came out the field, ran across the road, and somersaulted across this lady's car. And she was just completely traumatized by the situation. She looked like a bomb had gone off, right? Because it just destroyed the front end of her car. But it just somersaulted across and ran right into the like lake across the street, and just kept on going like nothing happened. But it just demoed her car like it wasn't even there.
That's what I keep hearing. Well, I would never, from everything I've seen on YouTube alone, and some of my friends who live in Canada and in any of those heavy population of moose areas where it's not uncommon to leave your house in the morning and see them hanging out there with your Christmas decorations just to stay.
It's not an everyday thing, but like, and it's it's still pretty cool when you see them. But if you're up north, you're past the French River in Ontario, so that's about as high as Michigan goes, pretty much.
Yeah, well. All right. Well, I'll keep my distance, no doubt. That's one thing I will do.
Have a good night, man.
Thank you. And around here, the most exotic thing you get is like a fisher cat, a fox. I feel like you got like a gray. There's like a grayish silver fox around here. There's the red one, the orange one, I should say. They call it red. What else? Every once in a while, you get a coyote. I feel like there's been quite a few coyote I've seen dead on the side of the Merritt Parkway over the last year. I see a lot more than I ever have. Coyote or fox on the side of the Merritt Parkway. And then fisher cats. Every once in a while, a mountain lion will make local news. It's like a big thing. Mountain lion ran through my backyard. Here's the ring cam footage. And I don't know what else. It's crazy. Here, somebody sent me a timeline, a 48-hour death timeline with Lindsey Graham, who they also believe it's too crazy to ignore. Number one, Graham meets with Zelensky and tours a hidden drone manufacturing facility in Kiev. Hours later, the Russian MOD launches a devastating missile attack, completely obliterating that exact factory. Simultaneously, Russian precision missiles leveled a high-profile hotel in Kiev, packed with top NATO commanders, where Graham was reportedly staying. I don't know how much this is confirmed. Graham instantly dies suddenly. Instantly dies suddenly right after returning home. He wanted to bring hellish sanctions to Russia, but it looks like he went straight to hell instead. Did a Russian strike catch him in the drone factory or NATO hotel, or did someone in Washington send him there knowing the missiles were coming? So that's the other thing some people are asking, that he never actually came home, that he died out there, which of course is like, okay, so then why are you holding that to your... Why are you holding that little piece of information close to your chest? Now, a United States senator was killed in Ukraine, and what? Why is that not being used? So a lot of people would say, how is this going to be used? Would somebody want to take him out to be able to justify really ramping up efforts in places like Ukraine? Well, if that's the case, then they're not really taking advantage of it. So there's that. Let me see here. Got a couple other things I wanted to do with you guys before we get off. Here's that piece. This is crazy. So here is the transvestite boyfriend for Tyler Robinson. I told you. Everybody's saying the same thing. This is right off of the boards where Slender Man was created. Scary as shit. Scary as shit. Howling Mutant says this. He says, I'll tell you one thing. If I ever get brought up on some charges and my trans girlfriend shows up in boy mode, they're going to have to add some new charges. Wouldn't be able to hold himself back. Would have to attack. Oh, yeah, well, At the very least, he could have showed up with the cute kitty ears on, right? Oh my gosh. Like, what the hell's wrong with this? Is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. People are out there right now just working overtime to completely exonerate Tyler Robinson, not because they are leftist. They are, for the leftist cause, which is the mainstream liberal cause, is you are either really in a frenzy of, bloodlust, that it was a cathartic thing. You love it. You've created a Charlie Kirk death dance. We've seen all that kind of shit. There are people who are just exuberant, over the top, celebratory over the brutal and gruesome death of a young father who you just didn't agree with, and nothing more. And then there are others who are a little bit less exuberant and a little bit more, trying to toe the line, which is still just as shitty, because he's like, well, no, that shouldn't have happened. But, you commit to that kind of life, what are you going to do? Well, I don't know. If you're living in a free country where the right to speak freely about controversial things, the right to speak freely about what happened on HBO last night and the new Moana film is not what the First Amendment is all about. It's to protect controversial speech, because that's what actually keeps a free society honest. So people who are out there doing the responsible man, the responsible liberal shtick, can also go shove it. But that's what's out there. That's what's out there. I know, and they want to exonerate Tyler Robinson. Some of them just love him, and they say that, well, he's a hero. Hopefully he did this. They don't look deep into anything else, and they believe he did it, and they love him for it. Then there are others who go, the rational libs who are just nuts, but they like to shield it with just a little bit of lipstick, a little bit of blush. And they say, well, Tyler Robinson is being set up because this is going to be used by the right to crack down on leftist dissent, which of course is all completely irrational, completely invasive, and out of control, and cannot be reasoned with at all. They're crazy people. And that's nuts. And then of course, on the other side, there are people who say, well, Tyler Robinson didn't do it. He didn't do it, and it's for other reasons. That he is being offered up as a patsy for much bigger intelligence-based operations, international, domestic. We know all the players. We know where all the planes landed, supposedly, and if that's the case, then damn. Can we get a little bit more from him? I can't wait to hear that. Because apparently it was all a love letter, that this act of violence, the official story is that this act of violence was a love letter to this guy, which is just, can you imagine? Can you imagine at least believing that you killed somebody so that you would be free to go and bang this guy while they wore cat earrings or cat headband? Like this is all so fucking sickening. Everything about this is so twisted. There are so many twisted turns that wherever you stop for a moment to hang your hat and just take a breath, the stench of another rabbit hole is just overwhelming. Like, you don't want to go into another one because the stench is worse than the one you were just down. It gets worse and worse. Every rabbit hole stinks. It's like, please, you know what? I need to go outside and just have a moment. That's what I got to do. All right, so we're ending in a couple of minutes. I'm leaving the lines open, 914. In the meantime, please comment and like, subscribe, put the notifications on, and also, let me take a moment just to say, please join the Culture Club. Sign up as a monthly sponsor wherever the hell you want. The Culture Club is just get in. There are specialty tiers on Patreon and Subscribestar. I would love to get some of you as Station ID sponsors. But for $5 a month, and in 2027, that $5 is going up to $7. Not for people who are already in, you're grandfathered in, but for new sign up, that's going up to $7 in 2027. So I'd say get in at $5 for the rest of the year, and it'll just stay there. So you can watch movies with us. Not only am I going to be doing book club with people tonight when this ends in a few minutes, we're reading Huckleberry Finn, and in October we're reading Shutter Island, and then we're going to watch Shutter Island in a film club watch party this Friday night. Show up. If you're around, that'd be great. If not, you can watch it on demand because it's going to be public. We're having a public watch party of Idiocracy. So Friday night, 9:00 on quitefrankly.tv, Idiocracy. It's a public film club watch party. So you guys can get a taste of what we do at least once, mostly 2 times a month. Definitely during the fall and the winter, 2 times a month. We're watching Idiocracy this Friday. And in August, I already have it lined up. Terminator 1 and Terminator 2. Okay? Because Skynet became self-aware in August of 1997. So we got to watch Terminator 1 and 2 in August. You got to watch it. There's so many awesome things that we can pick out from this thing. And I'm telling you, $5 a month to be part of the Culture Club, to read books and watch movies and be analytical and have fun. There's so much more you get too, but that alone is so much. That's worth 5 times punching your ticket for $5 a month. So please join me. Join me. We need your help. And not only are we trying to expand the programming here slowly but surely and reach out to new people and bring in new audiences, but we got a new baby showing up in November. So, be a part of the de facto diaper fund as well and become a sponsor. Thank you. All right, let's take a call as we take the last few of the night. All right, you're on the air. Who dis?
You already know who dis. This is Cloud9.
Oh,
Frank.
man. So what's got your goat tonight?
Well, there's lots of things. I guess we'll start off with the most obvious question that you asked earlier about animal encounters and if you've had to fight one off. I can't say I've had too close of a personal encounter with an animal that would be considered wild. Although I will say the past couple of months have been quite strange. I've seen a lot of gray foxes and red foxes come by. And on top of that, I've seen a strange number of red-tailed and red-shouldered hawks. And there is a difference between red-shouldered and red-tailed, as I found out. Red-tailed hawks, fun fact, are the ones that make the screech that Hollywood likes to use to dub in for the bald eagle. So anytime you hear a bald eagle screech in a film, it's most likely being overdubbed by a red-tailed hawk screech, which I found that to be interesting, seeing as how red-tailed hawks are not getting the royalties that they deserve.
Right.
So I have to give that out to the red-tailed hawks. Sadly, we probably won't see any more encounters just because of changing weather situations, and so we've had a huge migration of different bird species, but those red-tailed hawks were coming in for quite a bit. I was sitting on my couch, I think, outside, and I was just enjoying the great scenery, and then all of a sudden I see these 2 pair of dark eyes, and I look at it for a quick second, and it looks back at me, and for a split second, I thought it was probably like a neighborhood cat, but then I realized that it had too long of a body and too long of a bushy tail, and the tail had these 3 little circles around it. So I looked at it for a second. It did a huge loud screech. I don't even know how to describe it other than just go watch a YouTube video of a gray fox screeching. But it was one of the most ear-piercing screeches I've ever heard. And I'm standing probably about 2 feet away from it. It just randomly kept on, coming near me. And I thought, it was going to see me at some point. And it looked like it was about to pounce on me. So I thought, oh, shit, here we go. You're right. We're going to have a gray fox fight. But then it just got on out of there. But I guess more so in terms of a tame animal that most people own. I was over at a friend's house quite recently, and we were, just watching a film, and his buddy has a dog, and the buddy comes over with his dog, and of course it's a Siberian Husky. And I'm thinking, you know, Huskies are pretty chill, or at least in theory they should be chill dogs. I've never met this dog. The dog immediately comes up to me, starts getting up in my face, tries to hump me, tries to go to town with my leg, and I'm having to push this thing off, and it starts yelping like I'm hitting it, which I'm not.
Oh, boy.
And it comes up right behind me, underneath my legs, and it's trying to basically go a little too high with its head, and I'm having to constantly maneuver around this fucking dog, and I'm just like, get away from me. But outside of that, man, no, I can't say I've had a bison encounter, thankfully.
But it was, but you had a dog that was crying victim while it was raping you.
Well, essentially, I wouldn't say rape. Rape is too far. Sexual assault, maybe.
Yes.
But rape, not so much. And then the second thing I wanted to touch base on was the most important death that we had over the past week. Well, actually, I guess, what was it, early this morning or yesterday? Sam Neill. Sam Neill was probably, I would say, one of my, I guess, like, inspirational actors in terms of making me interested in film and making me want to go dive deeper, not just into the surface level franchises, but also to really delve deep into sort of the esoteric nature of Hollywood. Because everyone knows him from Jurassic Park. I mean, that much was obvious, and that's how I got introduced to the franchise, was through him and then also Steven Spielberg. And I think it's because of his acting that I got more interested in sort of the esoteric nature of Hollywood, because he also did 3 other films that either dealt with the topic of the esoteric nature or futurism or, you know, human/AI contact.
Oh, yes.
And those three films for me were Possession, In the Mouth of Madness, and Bicentennial Man. Which, I don't know, have you reviewed that at all, like any of those films?
No Possession, not those 3, but a Bicentennial Man I had seen. I had not seen Possession. I thought for sure you were going to throw Event Horizon in there.
Oh, yes, and Event Horizon, yes.
Event Horizon, that is, I got to put that on the list, actually, for like a spooky month. Like, that would be awesome to do maybe... Yeah, but maybe like in October or something. That is one of those space horrors. It's a horror film, man. That always got me. But it's really good. It's heady in that respect. So, yeah. I mean, he was in. I don't know what that. He was in The Omen, one of the Omen films that I never saw. It wasn't like the first one. I think it was like one of the later ones. I don't know how popular it was, but he never shied away from those darker esoteric themes as well, not just technology.
Well, right. I mean, he's one of the actors that wasn't afraid to get into a lot of the auteur, film directors who were very avant-garde. The director for Possession, I believe, he was either French or Italian. I cannot remember his name for the life of me. I think it was like Andre Zalosk. I can't remember his last name. Very hard to pronounce last name. But if you've never even heard of the director, you've probably never seen the film because it wasn't released to a large audience. It was really only for people who were going beyond just the surface level of film, who have a deep appreciation for the visual medium. And so it really made me understand and appreciate that when you're watching a story, you could have 2 simultaneously different things going on. The first would be the surface level story. And just to kind of go through a brief spoiler, not the entire film, but just like a brief overhead view, the film is about divorce. And that's the surface level of, between Sam Neill's character and this French actress character. But more than that, it's a commentary about the Eastern and Western Bloc because it takes place in Germany. So it's also talking about communism and capitalism, the overt nature and the oppressive nature of government tyranny. And there's like different levels to how far this goes down. And then obviously with Event Horizon, you're discussing like something on the levels of like a space operatic horror with what's his name? Who started the Matrix as Morpheus?
Shit.
Lawrence
Fishburne.
Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah.
Lawrence
Yeah,
Fishburne.
it's a deep mystery, that one, and I can't wait to put it on the list now. And I'm glad you brought some attention to Sam Neill, because that was when he I'm sure politically he is as predictable as anybody else who has worked in Hollywood for as long as he has, at the level that as he has. But as far as his body of work and the circumstances of him being sick, when he announced that he was in a terminal situation about 2 years ago, that was I really didn't expect him. I don't know, from what he described, I didn't expect him to hang on this long, but it was sad to hear that that it all ended for him today, at least on this earth. And I wish him well, and thank you for calling some attention to his life and career. That was very nice of you, and thank you again for the call. It was nice to finish it with you today.
Yeah, of course. Well, to put a neat little bow on it, Sam Neill was diagnosed with blood cancer, but he actually did say that he was cancer-free a couple of months ago. And the film that you were looking for The Omen, it was Omen 3, The Final Conflict. And with that, I will leave you to it, Frank.
All
Have a
right.
good night.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Blood cancer. So he had like a leukemia? So it wasn't pancreatic. Wait. Sam Neill, cancer-free? Sam Neill died suddenly, unexpectedly, at the age of 78 in Sydney, Australia. Although his death was sudden, his family shared that he was blessed by the fact that Sam remained cancer-free following a successful clinical trial for CAR T-cell therapy in early April. This is according to The Guardian. What? His wife confirmed that the cancer was not the cause of his sudden and unexpected passing, and they thanked the medical staff at St. Vincent Private Hospital for their incredible care. What? He was talking terminal back in like 2024 or something like that. Like he was giving himself just very realistic goals of just wanting to be around for his grandchildren a little bit longer and all that other stuff. And cancer-free as of April of 2026. This is completely news. This is complete news to me. Well, I mean, maybe we'll get a follow-up on that, but this is one of those things where what information will be known that the family wants to reveal. I don't know, but I'm interested, because that's wow. Okay. Anyway, all right, so here's what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to leave you 2 links for future shows that are coming up soon. Actually, this one is not a show. I'm putting a forum link in the chat room, because you should know that everybody should be making threads and doing investigations and all that stuff like we used to do on the Quite Frankly subreddit, but then Reddit nuked us when we had over 17,000 followers over there. It was a really, God knows what it would have been that we would have well over 6 figures over there, people just talking shit. It would have been really great driver for the show, but Reddit is Reddit. What can I say? Anyway, that inspired us back in 2022 to put together our own forum, which is nestled cozily on quitefrankly.tv, and it's completely free. All you need is an email address. Anyway, I have 2 threads that I have up there. Here's the first one, and that is a thread for your favorite drink recipes, summer 2026. And I put it together for you guys because when I had started my little pina colada announcement that I was going to start experimenting with making pina coladas, I got a couple of people got in touch with me, said, "Hey, here's some stuff that I do or whatever," and I said, "Okay, well, let me put this into a thread." And not only do I have one from Ted Montana over here, he says, "I'm glad your pina coladas worked out for you. Here's one a friend of mine made, and it's the best I ever had. It's made like a milkshake, so it's great on a hot day. Nuts and berries, it's called. It's in there." Megan Fox's recipe for in memory of Afro Man trial. It was it's a lemon pound cake sour. It's essentially a bourbon and amaretto sour with like a raw egg in there too, which I still have to try. It looks awesome, awful and awesome at the same time. It looks awesome, man. Damn. But the reason why I want to put it out there is that it doesn't have to be alcohol. I know there are plenty of people in this audience that probably don't drink. I'm not a big drinker. So by all means, mocktails are 100% encouraged. Jump into that thread that I just put into the chat room there, and it doesn't have to be alcoholic. What's your favorite thing? Is it like a combination of seltzer and a citrus and a little bit of apple cider vinegar, or is it something else? I don't know. Give us tasty mocktails that people can use. We got heat waves are still coming. We're not even in the dead middle of July yet. There's plenty of summer left. There's plenty of times for people to go out on the back porch and enjoy a new recipe they never tried before. So, and of course, include what kind of glass you put it in. Try to use it in a copper mule glass, perhaps, so we can make Matt from Cultivate Elevate happy. Anything you can do with copper goblets and copper cups, that would be wonderful. So please use that. I would love to see what you add to that thread. It's brand new. And one last thing over here for August. For August, we've got the deer scene. Now, we did not do the deer scene publicly last year because last August we were reading The Body by Stephen King, which is the source material for Stand By Me, which has the deer scene in it, the inspiration. So that was done in a little bit more of a book club setting. And we were able to really analyze that scene and extract from it what the whole point of this is. And let me read it to you real quick, just so you guys and gals can know what you're contributing to. And here's what I said. We read The Body and watched Stand By Me for book club last August, so we actually got to experience the full context behind what the deer scene is. But in essence, I want you guys to tell me about a moment in your life that would be hard to make others understand the impact it had on you. In the movie, Gordy had a quiet one-on-one encounter with a deer along a train tracks in the middle of a transformational summertime in his life, a memory that seemed mundane to others but stuck with him for the rest of his life. I want to hear about experiences you had where it seems everything slowed down, the universe, God, whatever you want to talk about, seemed to have crossed your path directly and brought your attention to something that was more than what it seemed. Okay? And I stress over here in this thread, I am not looking for your favorite stories about deer. I am not looking for the time you saw a deer on the side of the wall, living or dead. It's not about deer story. You have to see the context here. Okay? I'll remind you a couple more times before August gets here. But we're doing the deer scene again because last year was a little bit more of an intimate stream. So by all means, I put the thread out there, and we will do that again sometime soon. All right, guys and gals, tomorrow's going to be a great show. We have fantastic guests that are going to be coming in. Let me check on the super chats real quick. Road Trip says Jay was on Tucker. Yes, Jay Dyer was on Tucker. He actually texted me weeks ago after he just left Tucker. I actually reached out I texted Jay Dyer and I said, hey man, are you passing through the Northeast at all this summer? I was trying to see if he's doing any traveling, any debating, and I can get him here in studio. And he said he was going to let me know, but he said, I just left Tucker. I said, oh, awesome. So I knew that was coming. I didn't know when. So I'll watch that later on. Good for Jay. He deserves it. All of our friends deserve it. The dude from 1965 says, love you, Frank. Keep on keeping on, and be sure to pick me in this week's giveaway. Well, you know what? We're going to have 3 things. In fact, I have a mug over there that Lauren made for me, and I'm going made a gift mug like thing full of stuff. I'm going to add that in tomorrow. But I'll see you guys tomorrow, all right? It's going to be a good one. Thank you, Safety Net. Doodah Man. Vesper says, love Laurel and Hardy, but W.C. Fields was even funnier. Awakened Boomer says, hi, Frank. In for the loot. And Diane V says, the world is nuts. Enoch says, can't wait to chat about how important meeting up in person is. It is very important, no doubt. Well, I appreciate all your help. Please become a sponsor of the show. It doesn't take that much. A little goes a very long way. And especially check out all the stuff I have on Patreon. I have a very big announcement coming to Patreon soon. It's the only place that I can offer this one particular perk, but it has to do with all of the old archives, podcast archives going back to 2015. We're going to be adding them in batches. I'll let you know about that because I can actually host it there. So if you haven't become a sponsor yet, I'm giving you all the reasons in the world to drop $5 a month because you're going to be getting hundreds of dollars in value, and even more so because I'm always looking for ways to spoil you guys, because I get to wake up every morning and do this in a serious fashion. It's a dream of mine for as long as I can remember, and I'm just very grateful for you guys. Thank you. And I'll see you tomorrow at 7 o'clock. All the best. And book clubbers, we're about ready to get started. Charlie Robinson will be jumping on soon. Good night.
I'll catch you on the flip side.
Quite Frankly is filmed before a live studio audience. And now our super chatters, starting with Road Trip, the dude from 65, Jay Brits, Stumble Boots, Road Trip again. And thank you to our Rumble ranters. We just had a new one come in. Who was that? Grandma Grateful, please tell me how to fortify from the mice. Oh, I'll try to get Matt to call in tomorrow. Thank you again to Katie and to all of our gold pillars. I'm about to release the scratching. See you later.
Will you